Hey guys, I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am glad you're here. If you're so inclined, if you'd like to do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button down below the video down there and hit the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I update my material, my content, and when I announce that I'm going live. Today I've got something really special that we did an unboxing on that is not only going to be a review overview, but it's going to be kind of a story of where we go from here. And this is the Jason Grant J-KAL, K-A-L. So it is the J-KAL, available in about 6.5 inches. You can do a 5.5 inch to order. It is a handcrafted knife made out in California by Jason Grant. You guys might know who Jason Grant is, Brass Brigade. He is the designer and builder of the gripper. Hold on one second. This is Jason's brainchild. And this is the knife that he designed, protoed, had built, had manufactured by Best Tech, and it is one of my top folders, multiple deployment knives. But he started getting into, because he's basically an artist, a tattoo artist who also is a knife maker, he started making these fixed blades. And this particular one he made for me because I wanted a smaller EDC. And I wanted a handle that I could get a full 4-finger grip on that was going to be just a little bit larger than my Chickadee, but still very EDCable. I'm waiting for Joe at Lancelot Leather to get some clips in, and I'm going to have a pocket dropper made for this and possibly send it off to Artemis and get a Kydex sheath depending on how the pocket dropper feels. But what you'll notice here is this particular knife is thick, and you want to know how thick? Very thick at the top, of S35 VN steel. You might notice the blade looks a little wonky there, and we'll get to that with a curve here. But it's a deep hollow grind that's done by hand, guys. These knives are handmade in the US. So that's a deep hollow grind that is super, super slicey. And damn it, I left my slicey paper. Hold on one second. Y'all are probably thinking, John, just do edits. Just stop the camera. No, I want it to be the real. I want it to be authentic. So I'm going to use this little free calendar I got from February 2023. And I'm going to see how slicey this little very thick behind the edge, very thick spined, thin behind the edge knife slices. And guys, it is an absolute, if I could get my finger out of the choil, it is an absolute slicer. That's me. That's cutter error. Really toothy edge left on it. And it is a chisel grind, guys. Look, I don't want to take Jason's IG because we'll talk about that in the second half of the video. But I opted for the chisel grind because it is really kind of in the spirit of the Japanese Kardasky. This is just a really great cutter. This little knife is slicey. It's easy to maintain. It's easy to keep this one edge bevel clean, which I haven't had to sharpen it yet. And then you simply just either strop or knock the burr off the back. I love the finish that Jason puts on these. I don't know if this is the if this particular one is, I'm not sure which finish it is, but we'll get to that too in just a second. So this one's outfitted with micarta handles, and then it's got copper pins, so it's a pin together knife, not screwed together, so you don't have handles that are just screwed on. These are actually clamped, pinned, the pins are taken off. Same with this lanyard tube here, or as our brother Kevin Beard of Doom would say, our doodad hole is also copper to match. But I don't know if you guys can see that since I use an iPhone to film, but there's a mosaic in that pin on the front that is really stunning. The micarta is very stunning as well, and it's done, finished by hand, so it fits your hand very organically. There's no sharp edges. It's very smooth. It's very soft, and it's just a very wicked knife. What else can we say about it? Again, S35VN is my particular variation. It is the chisel grind that I picked out. All of them, all of the J-KALS will be designed with this handle style, which I think y'all will find is absolutely perfect, whether you go with one of the shorter ones or one of the 1/2 inch bigger ones, because you've got a big sausage hand. This little knife fits in your hand just perfectly, and it is, again, handcrafted by someone who I more consider an artist. If you've seen any of his tattoo work, or if you've seen any of his knife drawings or any of his knives, you'll know that he is absolutely an artist. Which brings us to at Brass Brigade on Instagram. I would urge any of you guys to give him a follow. It is well worth it. You will not only see what he's working on, but he's posting a lot of the J-KALS as they evolve, and he's very active on social media, and a lot of his stuff is available on social media. And the way that I'll let you guys get in touch with him is via social media. So write that down. I'll keep it out here for a second. But in either case, just a fantastic knife. The only thing that I need to do to this knife to make it where I know I carry it almost daily is get a good sheath for it. Jason could have got me a Kydex sheath. They all include a Kydex sheath now, because he, being the kind of guy he is, decided to go out. He couldn't send knives out without a sheath, so he got a Kydex machine and taught himself in about 48 hours how to make a really nice Kydex sheath. So they all ship with sheaths, and I'm going to go ahead and get a sheath made by Joe at Lancelot Leather, and look forward to carrying this knife quite a bit. But this is the Jason Grant, again, father of the gripper. Entry into fixed blades. He's been doing custom fixed blades for a while, and he still does custom fixed blades. So what I want to try to talk to you about, without losing my train of thought, is how Jason's going to go forward with this project and offering people and getting these knives into people's hands. So if you look at his Instagram page, which I urge you guys to, you'll see several of our brothers that have had knives made in the last week or two, and Jason shows them in several posts. And you'll notice that not one of them is identical. They might be very similar. They might have the same blade shape and same grind, but they might have a different spine treatment. They may have a different finish. They may have a two-tone finish. They may have an apocalyptic type finish. And the reason I say that is one thing that Jason's very particular about is he's having to take a step back. A local company in his hometown do some water jet cutouts in both 80 CRV2 and S35VN, 6 inches and 6.5 inch blanks. The reason he's doing that is he's been cutting out blanks for the knives that he's been making, but it takes more of his time to cut out the blanks than it could if they were water jetted by somebody that he knew was an American company and a personal friend of his, and also speeds up the percentage of knives that he can get out without taking away from any of the quality. But what he'll do is he will have, say, 26 inch and 26.5 inch of these little J-KALs that are going to be available. J-KALs, I'm sorry, that are going to be available. And then he'll start building them. He'll start putting them up on the site, on his Instagram page for sale, or when you know that they're going to be available and they're getting ready to be 20 of each variation, you can reach out to Jason through Instagram and talk about the knife that you want in this pattern. The only, I would say, consistent what you're going to get is the handle. The handle, Jason feels, and I agree, is just a perfect fit. It just really works well in the hand, and I think it's a handle whether you go with the smaller version like I have or the 6 or 6.5 version. You're going to be able to get a great grip on it. But what Jason's going to do, since he's ordered the blanks more generically, he's going to not limit you to this type of blade style. Let's say you want a tanto, and when you look at his page, his Instagram page, you're going to see some wicked little tantos. Let's say you want your J-KAL to be a tanto, or let's say you want your J-KAL to be a Warncliffe, or let's say you want your J-KAL to be something kind of funkiness, something that you like. You reach out to Jason and he'll make it for you. And the great thing is he'll make it for you by hand. And when I say by hand, yes, he uses tools. He cannot push steel away with his finger, but he hand grinds everything. He inspects everything. He fabricates in his little shop every single handle, every single scale, whether it's carbon fiber, whether it's micarta, whether it's some of the different stabilized woods he uses. Guys, he looks at it as a passion project, and he's a member of the knife community, was a member of the knife community long before I was, and I understand long before he ever decided to design and start building knives. He's one that actually designs knives and then went into the full build mode, kind of like NAF. But he's doing a fantastic job. I wanted to bring this knife to you, and I wanted to bring to you what is going to be the evolution of the J-KAL. So they are going to be available starting now. There are a couple available, but if you go to his Instagram site, follow it, and look for the drops, because you can get in either on your own knife where you reach out and say, hey, I'd like to speak for one of those, but I don't want mine to look like your normal J-KAL. I want it to be a sheep's foot. I want it to be a Warncliffe. I want it to be a frickin' spade. I don't know, a dagger, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's an artist. He's a handcrafting machinist who can make pretty much anything out of steel. So whether it's EDC RV2, S35VN, or you've got a whole nother set of options. You can reach out to Jason and you can talk to him about doing a custom knife for you, like Bearded Doom did. Wanted something big and kind of cool, like Bearded Doom, all of his knives are. And I think he's going to be very pleased because the pictures of that knife look absolutely killer. So reach out to Jason if you want something different than a J-KAL. Don't think that you're just limited to this. Let's say you wanted something in a more exotic steel. Guess what? Jason can get that steel, and he can get you a quote on the knife. But the J-KALs, the standard J-KALs, handcrafted in the good old USA, in the blade style of your choice, in either the ADCRV to the S35VN, are going to range anywhere from, and this will include a Kydex sheath, from roughly $189 to, on the high end, depending on your handle materials and some of the other variables like your steel, if you go with something different, up to $280. So that's his goal, is to keep them very reasonably priced, keep them of the highest quality, keep them with the greatest, I think, unique character and just artistic vision, and keep them priced where you and me can afford them. Because I can tell you, I can already see that I'm going to slip down a dangerous rabbit hole. And when you go to his Instagram and you start looking at what he's been working on there in the lab, I think you will agree with me. Cool stuff. Guys, I am so thankful every time you stop by and watch a video. I'm thankful when you let me bring you knives that excite me. This knife does excite me. Jason is also a personal friend and a great guy who makes knives. But please, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. And just look out for each other, guys. Move forward with love in your heart. Choose debate before hate. I love you all. Peace.